Love, a word we hear every day, an emotion we all crave. But not all love is equal. Some people claim to love us, but their actions say otherwise. Have you ever wondered why some relationships, no matter how hard you try, never seem to feel fulfilling or balanced? In today's video, we're going to explore a difficult truth. Selfish people can never truly love you. We'll dive deep into the psychology of selfishness, examine the signs of selfish behavior in relationships, and discuss why these individuals struggle with genuine love. This isn't just about romantic love, it's about all types of relationships, friendships, family bonds, and partnerships. Let's uncover the truth about selfishness and why it stands in the way of real love. How selfish people can never love you. Selfishness is the act of prioritizing one's own needs, desires, and well-being at the expense of others. It's a mindset where the individual's world revolves around them, with little regard for the feelings or needs of the people around them. But in relationships, selfishness goes beyond simple acts of inconsideration. It's about a pattern of behavior where one person continuously takes from the relationship without giving in return. Over time, this one-sided dynamic leaves the other person feeling unappreciated, unloved, and emotionally drained. Selfish people may claim to love you, but their actions reveal the opposite. Love, at its core, is about reciprocity, care, and sacrifice. And for selfish individuals, those qualities are often lacking. To understand why selfish people struggle to love, we need to look at the psychology behind selfishness. At its root, selfishness often stems from insecurity, fear, or a desire for control. Many selfish individuals were never taught to think beyond their own needs. They may have grown up in environments where their desires were constantly met, without having to consider the impact on others. Over time, they learned that the only way to get what they want is to focus solely on themselves. Selfishness can also be a form of emotional self-protection. By focusing on themselves, selfish people avoid the discomfort of vulnerability, intimacy, and emotional dependence. They fear giving too much of themselves because they equate vulnerability with weakness or loss of control. But while selfishness may protect them in the short term, it prevents them from forming deep, meaningful connections. True love requires a willingness to be vulnerable, to give as much as you receive, and to prioritize the well-being of the other person. For selfish individuals, this is a foreign and often frightening concept. It can be difficult to recognize selfishness in a relationship, especially in the early stages when everything feels new and exciting. But over time, patterns begin to emerge, patterns that reveal whether someone is truly capable of love or whether their selfishness will always stand in the way. Here are some signs that selfishness is at play in a relationship. One-sided conversations. Selfish individuals dominate conversations, focusing only on their own experiences, feelings, and needs. When their partner tries to share, they either interrupt or quickly steer the conversation back to themselves. Lack of empathy. A selfish person struggles to understand or acknowledge the emotions of others. When their partner expresses pain or frustration, the selfish individual may dismiss those feelings or even become defensive. Emotional unavailability. Selfish people often keep their partners at a distance emotionally. They may avoid deep, intimate conversations or refuse to show vulnerability. This leaves the other person feeling isolated and disconnected. Taking without giving, selfish individuals are more than happy to receive love, attention, and support, but rarely offer the same in return. Over time, this creates an imbalance where one person is constantly giving while the other continues to take. These behaviors may not seem like outright cruelty, but they chip away at the foundation of the relationship, leaving the other person feeling unloved and emotionally exhausted. Loving a selfish person can be emotionally devastating. At first, you may find yourself excusing their behavior, believing that they'll change, or thinking that if you just give enough love and patience, they'll eventually reciprocate. But over time, the reality becomes clear. Selfish people cannot love you the way you deserve to be loved. One of the most painful consequences of loving a selfish person is the gradual erosion of your self-worth. When your emotional needs are constantly ignored or dismissed, you may begin to feel like your feelings don't matter. You may start to believe that you're asking for too much, or that the problem lies with you. In reality, the problem isn't with you. It's with the selfish individual's inability to see beyond their own needs. But their behavior can leave deep emotional scars, making you doubt your worth and your ability to be loved fully. Selfish people also have a tendency to gaslight those they're in relationships with. When confronted about their selfish behavior, they may accuse their partner of being demanding or unreasonable, turning the blame around to avoid taking responsibility. This can leave the other person feeling confused, guilty, and even more disconnected from their sense of self. At the core of selfishness is an inability to love fully and deeply. To love someone means to put their needs and well-being on par with your own. It means making sacrifices, offering support, and being emotionally available. But selfish individuals often see love as transactional, something that benefits them rather than a mutual exchange of care and respect. Many selfish people struggle with love because they fear losing control. They view relationships as spaces where they might have to give up some of their independence or emotional autonomy, and that terrifies them. They avoid emotional intimacy because it makes them feel exposed or vulnerable. This fear of vulnerability keeps them from forming genuine connections. Instead, they keep others at arm's length, never fully committing to the emotional work required to sustain a healthy relationship. As a result, they may never experience the depth of love that comes from true emotional closeness. So, how can you protect yourself from selfish individuals? The first step is recognizing the signs of selfishness and understanding that you deserve better. You deserve relationships that are reciprocal, where both partners give and receive love equally. Setting boundaries is crucial. Make it clear what you will and won't tolerate in a relationship. If you find that your emotional needs are consistently ignored or dismissed, it's time to reassess whether this relationship is healthy for you. Walking away from a selfish person can be difficult, especially if you've invested time and energy into the relationship. But staying with someone who cannot love you fully will only lead to more pain and heartache in the long run. Surround yourself with people who value and respect you, people who are capable of giving as much as they receive. Healthy relationships are built on reciprocity, empathy, and mutual care, and you deserve nothing less. One of the most powerful ways to protect yourself from selfish people is by cultivating self-love. When you truly love and value yourself, you are less likely to tolerate behavior that diminishes your self-worth. Self-love isn't just about pampering yourself, it's about recognizing your own value and setting standards for how you deserve to be treated. It's about knowing that you are worthy of love that is full, reciprocal, and genuine. By practicing self-love, you strengthen your ability to identify when a relationship isn't serving you, and to walk away from situations that aren't aligned with your well-being. Selfish people can never love you, not in the way you deserve to be loved, but you have the power to choose better for yourself. You have the power to seek relationships that are built on mutual respect, care, and emotional reciprocity. As you move forward, remember that real love is selfless. It's about giving and receiving equally, about supporting each other's growth and happiness. When you find relationships rooted in these values, you'll experience the depth of connection and love that selfish people can never offer. Thank you for watching. Remember, you deserve to be loved fully, genuinely, and without selfishness. Take care of yourself and never settle for less than the love you deserve.